So I'm going to start doing some new videos. I'm going to start with myths and misconceptions. I'm going to do some caliber analyses and things of that nature. So I'm just going to dive right in here with shotgun myths and misconceptions. Myth 1. You don't need to aim. We have all heard and seen it in movies. You just point and shoot, and whatever it is you're pointing at explodes into a million pieces of meat. And while a shotgun can be more forgiving than a handgun or rifle, firing one projectile, unless you have a very short barrel, the spread at self-defense ranges will be rather tight. Um, One legal way to negate this, and have a wider spread at combat distance, is to use unbuffered shot shells that do not hold the pellets in a pattern. Cheap shells like Cellar and Below will be unbuffered. I think Rio sells unbuffered shells as well. Alright, so myth number 2, 410 is useless. I hear this a lot from gun guys, that 410 is just useless except for the youngest of shooters. In fact, 410 is a great hunting round from a shotgun. From a handgun, it can be used as a good snake round. You can take whitetail with a 410 slug on the opposite end of the spectrum, since you aren't putting out as many pellets downrange. It can actually be harder to hit flying targets, such as waterfowl. So that actually does make it less adequate than a 20 gauge for beginning, but that's mainly for waterfowl. So myth number 4. Racking around will make a bad guy run away. This may be the case in some cases, but in reality, the sound of a shotgun racking is a staple of the action movie, and truth be told, if you have a shotgun in your hands to deal with the intruder, the last thing you want to do is tip him off to your location or the fact that you have a firearm. In a split second, you may not have time to rack around into the shotgun. We all know how iconic it sounds, but in reality, some criminals aren't going to care, and it's just going to give them the time they need to be able to react quicker than you do. Misconception number 4. Birdshot is useless. Birdshot prevents overpenetration. So a potential criminal shot with number 7.5 lead at close range will have a really bad day. The shot may not open up at all, and it may be delivered into one payload. The results would be a wound that resembles that of a slug, honestly. That said, birdshot will spread out very quickly and is best suited for, guess what? Birds. It will penetrate drywall as easily as other larger pellets, and you'll have more of them to patch up. So that's always a fun consideration to take into account. And our final myth is it's going to be okay to shoot up into the air. Basically, I can sum this up pretty quickly. What goes up must come down. Firing upwards is not harmless. In media, firing a shotgun into the air is treated as a warning, but no attention is paid to the effects of gravity of that shot. Falling pellets are a